Hi everybody, and happy Monday night. Welcome to SuperSoul Boulder, where we talk about everything mind, body, heart, health, and wellness. Not just the body and how it works, which I love, which I love. Not just the mind, which is amazing and can get in our way sometimes, but also, hey Dan, great to have you join, but also the heart and what it is we're inspired by and passionate about. And if you don't know me already, my name is Dr. Lara Johnson from Yellow Brick Physical Therapy here in Boulder, Colorado. Oh yes, I know I had Dan says he was getting worried for a second. I had a really back-to-back work day with patients, so I was getting myself here and ready. So thank you for your patience. And I am so excited about tonight's episode. So much is happening right now, like today, right? Hey, Carlos. Right now, today, what's happening? It's the week of Christmas, which has all, hopefully you're feeling some Christmas feels. I have been. I like it. I lean into that. It's fun to feel the warm and cozy and family and things like that, even if you're not near everybody this year, even if it looks a little bit different. And what else is happening? Today is the winter solstice, which we'll talk about more as it relates to all these things too. And it's also that cool alignment that you've hopefully heard about by now of Jupiter and Saturn being aligned and close enough to make for a bigger, brighter star, although they're planets, right? So all this is happening today, and it's brilliant. What do you think of when we think of brilliancy or brilliance? It's bright, it's light, it's powerful and amazing, just like you. And that's what we're gonna delve into tonight. So just like you saw it, Dan, that's awesome. I was looking when I was coming home. There were clouds. So brilliancy does not just mean bright and light, but I've come to understand it also as an intelligence in it itself. So brilliancy or brilliance has an intelligence to it. As in us, in each of us, there's an intelligence, there's a brilliance, there's a we talk about people being bright. I don't want to say smart, it's intelligence. It has its own intelligence. You as a person have your own intelligence. And just like all the things going on, that's interesting, right? All this alignment, all this maybe the holiday spirit and these planets aligning and the winter solstice. I think it's pretty interesting timing and interesting to think about. So the solstice itself is like a turning point, right? So if you're not aware of the winter solstice, our days have been getting shorter and shorter and shorter because of the tilt of the axis of the earth. And where we are on the earth. So, hey John, hey Jill. So we are at this turning point today where instead of the days getting shorter and shorter and shorter, they're about to get longer and longer and longer again. And as I said in my post, if you saw earlier, I just heard a lot of people lately struggling with feeling motivated. And I thought that was worthy of bringing up. So a lot of patients of mine are feeling like I'm not feeling motivated to get up. I usually go to the gym. Because of COVID, I'm not, but getting up to do a home workout is different, or just getting out of bed in the morning. And I want to say first and foremost, I think that is so natural and normal. So if you're out there struggling with, I need to make myself do these things I'm used to, it's a different kind of energy in the winter than the summer. There's a lot more energy to go and do in the summer, and in the winter it's actually very natural for us, just like other animals on the planet, to do less, to hibernate, to go inward, to reflect, to rest and recover. And that is hard in our society because we do have to keep up with work and we do have to pay the bills. And so I'm not saying stop everything and hibernate. I am saying just to invite or be noticed, just become aware of the naturalness of that, and perhaps be less hard on ourselves or less judgmental of ourselves for feeling off or feeling like we're not ourselves. Plus, on top of it all, there's this thing called a global pandemic, right? So I want to say it's just been quite a year for everybody. So give yourself a moment to see that perhaps, I think it'll be interesting, we don't know yet, but will it feel like a turning point for you or for the people you're around or collectively, who knows? It's kind of worth seeing and being intrigued by, I think. And knowing that there is a brilliancy. There is a brilliancy just in and of itself to the nature of these cycles, right? The solstice being one of them. The solstice being we're shifting from days getting shorter to days getting longer. There's kind of an intrinsic intelligence in that, right? It's not always the same. Our Earth is on a tilt. It's farther away from the sun this time of year for us. We might also, our lives might also reflect that to one degree or another. And so to honor that there are cycles and there are seasons. This was important simply because I didn't do that for a long time. It was like pushing through school and grades and running and just going. But it's also okay to relax into your own brilliancy, your own intelligence, your body's intelligence. Let's talk about that for a second, because I kind of love to talk about the human body. It's fascinating. There is an intelligence. I mean, it can, because I felt this firsthand, it can release, it can change, posture can change. I just had this patient in today. She's an elite run, like a pro runner. I see a lot of runners. She's a pro runner, really fast, and also very kind and very amazing. And I hadn't seen her before, and I do things a little differently than your average PT. And so she's been struggling with heel pain that's been a prior injury, and not that bad. But the thing is, what do I want to say about this? I didn't touch her heel, aside from assessment and reassessment, but also worked away from the heel to the center of the body where things are connecting and affects your posture. You guys know I talk about this a lot, but it's so important because, her heel hurt even to my pressure at the beginning, and then working on the middle of her body, releasing some areas of tension she didn't even know she had, even made the heel to my pressure feel differently by the end. And other areas of our lower leg feel differently by the end. And what I mean by brilliancy or intelligence to the body is if we know what to do to help it and see it for all the connectivity that it is and has, it can change and shift and do it naturally. And sometimes it's just a matter of who we meet along the way, or how we treat it, or what we understand about it, or that process of learning and growing and knowing more about it. And then it's really fun. And it's a little like getting to express one's brilliancy, one's intelligence, what we've learned, what we've grown, what we've done, how her body will move now when she runs. Even if it's the subtlest difference in alignment. And there's that word again, right? Alignment. Ooh, I love it when when talks have their own flow to them, because those planets are in alignment. Saturn and Jupiter are aligned such that it becomes a bigger, brighter star tonight. And I think that's so interesting. That from such a far distance, light years away, right? And those planets being light years away, correct me if I'm wrong, if those are out there astrophysicists, but my understanding is this, those planets themselves are that far away. And that light can even reach us from that far away, and that we can even have the understanding that those are planets and not something else. I mean, it's brilliant, it's light, it's bright, it's awe-inspiring if we really allow ourselves to take it in. And so then two bright lights coming together at the same time, even though they're not even meeting, they're not even in the same location, to our eyes, they are aligning such that it's a bigger, brighter star. Just like us, just like you're a bright, brilliant being, not unlike a planet. You talk about a microcosm, right? Environment, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, all comes together as this organism, just like the planet Earth that we're familiar with. And you can allow your brilliancy to shine forth more. You don't even need someone else to be able to see it. Those planets are always that bright, no matter whether we can see it or not. Hey, Jennifer. No matter whether we can see it or not, no matter whether someone can see your brilliance or not, it's there. It's there always. So if you're feeling unmotivated at times, or if you're feeling like I'm not myself at times, that's okay. There's a season for that. There's cycles for that. And it doesn't mean you're not still brilliant. Do you see what I mean by brilliance? This like, as a human, just understand for yourself that you are incredibly amazing for existing. If you look out at those bright planets out there and consider how, I mean, it's kind of unfathomable to our minds to conceptualize the entirety of that, right? So you as a human being are that way too. Our minds just tend to limit it so that it can understand things more. So it's easier for your mind, for our minds to box things in, make it mean, oh, I know what that is, that's a planet. But if you really just sit with it without naming it, if you sit with another person without naming them, or without saying, I know who this is, or this is our, relationship or history, there's more. There's more unknown. There's more mystery. There's more brilliance. There's more intelligence. This body functioning all the time without her having to do anything about it. Heart beating, air breathing, air being breathed. Thinking happens so quickly. We take in information and make it something, make it mean something, put things together. And we can also step back and see the amazingness that's here, the brilliance that's here, the intelligence that's here in your body, and the way it connects, the way it functions in your mind, and the way it does do those things automatically. Think these thoughts, categorize people or situations or your, kitchen table. And your heart has a brilliance too. For some of us, that's harder to access. We have a lot of ways to protect ourselves. I talked a bit about heart last week too, and I think it's a good topic to bring, a good aspect to bring in here the week of Christmas, when I think it's a great time to feel the heartfeltness. Even if it's hard, even if we're struggling with loss, that's all in the heart. And it's worth feeling. It's worth feeling and not cutting off, because if we cut off our heart to protect ourselves, we also cut it off from love in all the ways that it works and operates. Love is that force, right? Not just relationship or special love. There's more to it, just like there's more, and it has a brilliance to it as well. Perhaps an aliveness or a brightness or an intelligence, a movement, a momentum forward. So even as you're sitting here listening, you can feel into whether there is a sense of light or brightness, that brilliancy, that intelligence. And if you can get a sense that that's just you as you are already. And more often than not, all we're looking to do or needing to do, hey Eric, is uncover the layers or the veils that prevent us from seeing or feeling or being what we're really capable of. And by capable of, I don't mean doing amazing, profound things. It can be the simple things. Who are you showing up for in life? Who are you serving? Who are you taking care of? Who are you inspiring? Who are you being inspired by? And what is that all about, right? What is that? How are we inspired? How are we affected by planetary alignment or a bright star in the sky, or simply looking up at the stars in the sky? I've always been in awe by that, even standing outside on the sidewalk in front of my parents' house as a kid. So in what ways are you a bright star in the world? And in what ways can you bring that, even in the simple, subtlest ways? Again, it doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be anything to show up. There's plenty of proof in our history and around us of people living that brightness, that brilliancy. You included, I'm sure. At times, I'm sure it's hard for us to see it for ourselves. We get so judgmental, particularly of ourselves and others. That might be a good secondary invitation for this week, as far as just watch out for the judgment. Let's see if we can go through this Christmas week without judging ourselves or others. Catch yourself. And I invite you as well to be open to what brilliancy is around you. Again, intelligence of your body, intelligence of your mind, but not in the usual way, not like the thinking mind, more like the mind that the mind can get complicated, but the mind is a great tool. Let's talk about this, the automaticity, the automatic nature of what your mind does to categorize, to think, to put things together, to synthesize, to analyze, those kinds of brilliant qualities. And your heart's ability to be more open, be more aware. Rolly says, drive me to the moon to catch a star and seize its brilliance. Oh, wow. That's a cool statement. Yeah, so the brilliance of your heart to open and to see that in others, right? And in yourself. Jerry, hey. And in yourself. There's so much that's brilliant out here right now, out in the world and in you. Your body being this amazing organism like the planet Earth, as I said. And there's so much intelligence and so much light. And how much more light can you bring to the world? Light, how do I want to say that? I kind of hear that thrown around a lot by, say, the yogi world or meditation world. And I always like to get underneath a word and not just kind of take it for a rote meaning. So light, like allowing that bright intelligence, or even like a clarity in your head, or a brightness in your forehead, to bust open your awareness, to allow you to see more of what's actually here in all the light ways. So this time of year, this winter, this solstice, this darkest day of the year today, it's easy to think of all the darkness of this year with COVID, all the challenges, all the, disappointments in ourselves for not keeping up with our workouts or whatever that looks like. I've just heard that a lot. Whatever that looks like. Not keeping up with what we want, or not getting what we feel would make us be something or seem something to other people. All of that. It's so easy, right? To just get consumed. Oh gosh, and there's politics too, and consumed by the unfortunate hatred we might feel, or not feel here. We might hear in a lot of the messages and language out there. So it is that much more imperative and that much more of a challenge to look for the bright. Look for the bright light. Enjoy that big double planet star. Enjoy that star on the top of the Christmas tree. Enjoy the stars in your life. Those people who bring something out in you, who lift you up, who make it like you're a bright star connecting with another bright star and making this big, huge, bright, awesome light star brightness. What would that be like? What if you allowed that to be possible? And what if it's not happening, you don't make a thing about it, you just kind of stay open to it as a possibility? And imagine if that just feeds into your own brightness and your own brilliance and your own intelligence or your own momentum and your own mobility to carry forth in the ways that make you you. I was going to say, the way that you love depends on if that's coming from your heart or from your head or from your body or all of it. But pay attention and let yourself be swept up in other people's lightness rather than comparing or judging ourselves or any of that. Let's just lift. Let's lift it. Let's have that abundance, connective things grow when we look at it that way. Rather than feeling that everything's scarce and that it's a competitive environment. It's not. Those planets don't have to compete with one another. They're just bright, and they're brighter when they come together. And it's the same way with us. Even if you're feeling unmotivated, even if you're feeling like less than or not yourself, you're still brilliant. Don't forget. That is my invitation for you for the week. Become more and more aware of your own brilliance, your own brightness, your lightness, and your intelligence. And see if just notice if you bring that to the table, to family, to friends, to work, whatever that is, if you just keep bringing that, you just might be fascinated by its effect on others. It might take a while. Some people are open to that. You don't have to say anything. Just see. See if you can have that effect on others without trying. Just being. And when it comes to your body, remember that it can change. Sometimes we have to do some things to help it. Sometimes, but listening to that is part of that brilliance. Its ability to adapt and change is brilliant. And your body's ability to know directly. When you feel sensations in your body, you can know directly what it needs or what's required or what's hurting, and to pay attention to that, not ignore it. Because that's its own brilliance. That's its own intelligence. And it really is fascinating and amazing. It's so fun for me to see it on a regular basis and help others see their own. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please, please, please feel free to comment. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, anything that came to mind. I love hearing all about it. Love having the dialogue and conversations. Don't be afraid. And and if you're watching, please feel free to like or heart so I know you're here. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and or whatever holidays you celebrate or don't, but a wonderful week. A happy winter solstice, this turning point of nature, and enjoy your bright lightness, your brilliance. Good night. Take care. I'm Dr. Lara Johnson from Yellow Brick Physical Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me here on another episode 80, crazy, of SuperSoul Boulder. And be sure to take great care of your mind, body, and heart this week. Have a great one. See you next Monday. Bye.